So we're going to continue today talking about match coverage, in particular, how to defend 2x2 compression formations with match. Yesterday here on the channel, we talked about the cover 3 match against spread sets, and I want to go ahead and carry that forward into today's video and kind of show you if there's any utility for cover 3 match, and if not, what are the better alternatives. So make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, grab out your pen and pad. Let's go. So like I already said, we covered a lot of the rules for cover 3 match yesterday. We're going to operate off of the assumption that you guys have watched yesterday's video. If you didn't, go back and do so. We're going to immediately hop in here and kind of talk about the spacing of the 2x2 formation and kind of take a look into what the seam flats are going to do. Is there any actual use to running a cover 3 match against compression, in particular 2x2 or bunch? So with this, when we talk about a seam flat, yesterday we talked about it relating to a number 2 receiver, in which basically, if that receiver ran vertical or to the flat, the seam flat would convert into man-to-man on it and take it for the rest of the direction of the route. So one of the more popular route combos a lot of people will run out of compression is a corner route and a streak. It's been that way forever. And in this particular breakdown, if I were to run kind of this flooding concept where I'm running streak corner to both sides of the field, we want to see what our seam flat defenders do in these instances. When we snap the ball, you're going to see that it really doesn't do a whole hell of a lot. So what is going wrong here? Let's go into the instant replay. Now, again, the assumption here is that the seam flat is going to match number 2 vertical. But when we condense down the wide receiver splits meaning distance that they are from the offensive line, for whatever reason, this will just kind of change the way that this formation matches. And you see right here that a stem corner route is definitely wide open for a down and outside pass lead. If I were to try to run a regular corner route on both sides of the field and run the kind of same combo, but just deeper breaks on these routes, you'll notice that when we do it this way as well, that again, you're just getting that corner route running into the sideline, not really fully matched by the seam flat defender. So if you guys are looking to a cover 3 match to defend 2x2 compression, you're going to be a little bit disappointed in that regard. Now, as it pertains to the outside receivers running corner routes in a 2x2 compression, you will take note that this will also turn loose the corner route, especially on the short side of the field. If I were to put this ball on the other hash, you'll probably notice the exact same behavior. But you'll notice here in this example that when I try to run this concept to the short side of the field, it actually does match, and we get a solid match out of the underneath. In particular, the seam flat defender does carry the tight end vertical. You'll notice in this example that the running back stayed in the protection, which allowed for this to occur. So immediately off rip, we're seeing inconsistencies and way too much dictated by the running back in particular, and just the inconsistency of matching anything on the non-running back side. When I put the running back on a route here, you do see that we're getting cover 3 match on the front side, and then on the back side, it basically was playing kind of zone. I wouldn't even really call that a match concept. And the reason that I say that is if I were to invert the route combo on the left side of the field, you will not see that the response is the exact same. Okay. You basically end up with the ability to throw a 1-play touchdown here. It's really only half the field that's matching. So this is a form of frustration for me personally. And I think this tends to lead towards me calling a different coverage when I'm dealing with 2x2 match. Now, before I get into what that coverage is and how you guys should set it up, make sure that you guys open up a tab and head over to my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. A lot of the content here on the YouTube channel, especially the coverage focused content, is a trickle down from my strategy website where my customers get all the information first and a lot more detail than what you get here on the channel. What I'm about to show you guys is a breakdown that I've had on the website for months. It's helped players of all skill sets stop the 2x2 compression meta and compression in general. And maybe if you've watched every single video here on the channel and you study really hard, you're going to notice some consistencies to older videos I've done, but you guys will be able to find the most organized and packaged together content I have ever created in my life on the defensive side of the ball in that match Bible. It's worth the price of the website. On top of that, you get all other offensive and defensive game plans and weekly updated vault content. This is custom curated content for you based off of trends in the competitive Madden community. what the pros are doing, how it works, and most importantly, how to counter it, because you are going to face it online. The vault is an invaluable source of information that will help any player get better at the game, spend less on packs because you're winning more on the head-to-head streets. So make sure you guys go check that out, and make sure you guys hop in our Discord and say hello as well. We have lab sessions in there each and every week, and I upload those on the website for those who are unable to attend live to go back and watch at a later time. Those are also included with Cliff's Notes, timestamps, for that way you guys can go to specific questions that are asked and get the answers without having to sort through the video and scrub and spend way too much time looking for your questions. So make sure you guys go check that out. So when it comes to 2x2 compression, especially when we're dealing with corner routes, I like to gravitate more towards a couple of different coverages. Those are going to be either straight up quarters or cover 2 match. And sometimes when we're getting really, really funky with it, I'll run the split field coverages, which are cover 6 and cover 9. Essentially, that is going to be a cover 4 match to one side and a cover 2 match to the other. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to keep it real simple. And I'm going to show you the general rules of quarters and also the general rules of cover 2 match. So the cool thing about quarters is that we are equipped to handle 4 vertical attacking threats with the 4 deep zones that are on the field. The underneath zones will then relate towards any underneath routes, if there are any. Typically speaking, that is going to end up being, you know, you're running back on the quick throw to the outside or an in-breaker or a Texas route. But from a standpoint of how this works, you're going to see that if I were to run streaks and corners, that you end up with this being matched. Everybody has somebody that they're playing man-to-man. So let's take a look at the instant replay here. There are going to be some little crisscrosses that might make you uncomfortable, and that's why I want you to make sure you stick around for the cover 2 match as well. But when we take a look here, you see on this side of the field, we have 2 vertically attacking routes. One's a streak, one's a corner route. And you see that this is dispersed between those 2 players. And you see that, you know, you at least had an effort to match here. Now, this crisscross can be the source of frustration for a lot of players because online, really good players are going to let this throw rip over the top. Stay tuned for that cover 2 match setup here. But this isn't a consistent outcome, obviously. It's not always going to create a pick. You see here on this side of the field with the same route combination that the safety matches the tight end corner, and you have the outside corner matching the streak over the top. So this meta is effectively matched, albeit there is a little bit more efficient way to do this, and that is going to be the cover 2 match that I'm going to show you guys here. Now, here's the cool part. Cover 2 match is achieved by having a vertical hook on both sides of the field. The best way to do this, because outside linebackers can't always be put into vertical hooks, is to base out of a cover 6 with the auto flip on. So remember how I mentioned about a minute, 2 minutes ago that I do like to run split field coverages? This is going to give me the ability to run this exact call stock, or I can turn it into the cover 2 match across the board that I was just talking about. So let's get into double streak, double corner route. And on the left side of the field here, you guys are going to see the exact same custom rules for the coverage against the streak corner combo. On the right, obviously, we've now got a cover 2 match, and I want to show you guys how that is dispersed as well. Now, when we snap this ball here, I want you to watch how this is played. The left is the exact same. The right, though, we had a little bit of a swap off, and this is where we can kind of get a little bit better with how we're going to play this, okay? On the cover 2 side of this field here, you'll notice that we had what is called a push call. This soft squat zone is going to relate to number 1 vertical, which is Larry Fitzgerald. When he goes vertical, he's just going to run with it, and they have safety over the top. It's basically treating this side of the field like 2-man under in a way, but there is the ability to swap off. You see here underneath, this vertical hook, which would normally take the tight end vertical, has to push to the flat because the running back releases. This allows us to take away the quick throw to the running back on the cover 2 side without having to keep our flat zone defender there, which is cool. But this will also from time to time create issues for this 3-rec hook defender. A lot of people would like to hang out on this guy thinking that they're just going to play the middle of the field. And really, you do have responsibility if the running back pushes to the flat to do something. But this is where this gets really interesting, because I've talked about this before on the channel. When you guys decide to go and user the 3-rec hook defender, the game does not code in the push call. So take a look at this. If I were to set up a streak corner flat combo to the right and a streak corner combo to the left, you're going to see here that you would think I would go take Bowers. And if I do that, you're going to see that I'm wrong and that the game actually matches differently. I am responsible for taking the running back if I user this 3-rec hook. Now, this is where this could get fun, because basically this push rule is AI to AI. When you're not using the linebacker, they can communicate with one another because the computer knows what's happening. You don't. The computer will assume, oh, hey, he's using this player. So let's not do this check and make this even more confusing than it needs to be. So it expects the 3-rec hook to play the pre-snap number 3, which is the running back, to the flat the entire way, while the vertical hook and the soft squat still swap off their zone and match effectively on the vertical attacking threat. So you basically have to user this player. Well, take a look at this. This is actually really, really cool, because if you guys were to play on the vertical hook instead, let's say that they're running street corner flat on both sides of the field again, I can basically say, all right, I am taking number 2 vertical if he goes vertical or under in this. That is your rule. This guy is going to stay coded to the running back no matter what. So if the running back goes quick to the flat, he's not my responsibility anymore. So the ball snap, my guy goes vertical. I can switch stick up. I can peel back if I feel like the safety over the top can play it. We're in a good spot here with the cover 2 side of this. So this is really, really cool. But I mentioned I also like cover 2 match across the board. So take a look at this. What I could also do on the left side of the field, let's say for whatever reason, that little kind of pick that's happening deep down the field with the streak in the corner. Let's say that they're causing, you know, a rub here and somebody's getting open over the top for a bomb. In this case, this looked good, so we're fine, but it does happen from time to time. If this annoys you, what you could do is you could pass the matching logic of this cover 4 side to the underneath zone, which is our quarter flat defender. And we're just going to change what the shell is on this side by taking this player, putting him into a vertical hook. And we're going to take the player on the outside, put him into a soft squat zone. We're going to take the safety over the top, and we're going to put him into a deep half. This effectively turns this coverage into straight up cover 2 match across the board. And now you will end up with the exact same set of rules on the street corner combo to the left and the right. And you'll also see that we have a 3-rec hook that can defend. So now when you do this here, look at how that swapped off on the left side. We had safety help over the top. There was great communication on both sides of the field here. And really my user recommendation on this is to play up a top on a safety because you could just allow your underneath guys to do this push call. Look at how we have matched beautifully on this. Everything street corner on this side is matched beautifully. And then on this side of the field, you have the match. Hester breaks out. Jerry stays inside. And you notice that they kind of ran into each other, which hurt the offense on this play. But you see that this was actually swapped underneath as well. You ended up with Dion taking the outbreak, the vertical hook staying inside, and the safety cap both throws over the top. So you're not throwing the corner route up high. You're not throwing the seam route over the top on this play. This is a really, really cool way that you guys can defend 2x2 compression with a cover 2 match or a cover 4 match or a cover 6 match. Now, of course, there are other formations in the game that you guys will come across from time to time. 2x2 compression is not the only popular compression in the game. I do also like to play a fair share of cover 4 quarters or cover 6 or cover 2 match even against bunch. And I've done so much content here on the website, so I'm not going to harp on this for too long. I did like a month's worth of videos at the beginning of the year on this stuff, but I am going to show you guys what is really, really cool about this. Let's say that we come out in quarters against this bunch, and I just decide for whatever reason, you know what, I'm good on this. I don't want to play this call. You could just change the quarter flat zone to a vertical hook, the outside corner into a soft squat, the safety over the top into a half, and now you've created your own way of running. This is basically cover 9. You could also just have cover 9 in your audibles and you would be fine with that as well. But what I really like about this is that this is going to also defend a lot of those popular route combinations, especially the custom stemmed slot fade with the stem down corner and the streak. This is a really, really cool call. And with your defense, you can still hang out on that safety. And you see here that in this particular call, I can just give help over the top and look at how that's matched. You end up with the stem down corner matched. The slot fade is matched. You have help where you need it to be in this call. So that's really, really cool. Again, though, you could also just go to a cover 2 defense, turn this into a soft squat, turn this into a vertical hook instead of a, hook curl or a curl zone, I think is what they called it. But again, the problem is if you want to play cover 2 match on this side, you can't change the outside backer on the weak side into a vertical hook. And that's why I like to do this out of cover 6, because Fletcher stock would be in the vertical hook on the cover 6. And it's easier to just have the ability to play that call on both sides of the field in this regard. So even with the cover 2 match against this, let's say for whatever reason your opponent comes out with a stem corner, a slot fade that's been stemmed up, and they try to snap this on you, you're still going to see okay matching. You know, if they want to try to rip that throw over the top, you still see that it does a fine job. Okay, so there you guys have it. This is how you guys can defend compression sets, in particular those pesky corner routes, whether they're stemmed down or not, from a variety of different calls. Cover 4, little cover 2 match. Obviously save that cover 3 match stuff that we started yesterday for more of the spread stuff, the auto motion stuff, where it kind of goes to doubles or spread trips. You'll get far more utility out of the match rules when you're dealing with spread. So you guys can keep that in your audibles based out of this audible to cover 3 when they start to motion or do those cheap style exit motions as well. So I'm going to get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.